Are there ghosts in this world? Some say yes, some say no. After all, no one has proven that there are absolutely no ghosts, nor has anyone made everyone in this world believe that there are ghosts. Therefore, the devil is still something unclear and immature in everyone's thoughts. So what is a ghost? In general, from children to adults, ghosts are the souls of dead people appearing. Something very scary and sometimes very disgusting. Personally speaking, I think that ghosts must be very scary and worth being afraid of. Because it's not surprising that people who believe in ghosts are afraid of ghosts, and people who aren't afraid of ghosts are the opposite. Ghosts often appear in movies and are depicted through the imagination and memories of many people with common characteristics. Long hair, white body, hovering above the ground, looking angry. Just thinking about it, many ghost lovers already feel nervous, temporarily concluding that ghosts are very scary, no matter how scary they are. Look at the screen. I will tell everyone how scared I was of ghosts to the point of going crazy. But first, do you believe there are ghosts in this world? To briefly summarize myself, I am a boy. My nerves and body are developing normally, with no signs of wanting to pick up avocado leaves or other signs of nerves, healthy life, take care of sports to repel drugs. In short, it's normal and okay. In the past, that means a long time ago. Did you imagine it? That's right, a long time ago. I have been injected into my head by adults, that is, my brothers, sisters, neighbors, grandparents, parents, etc., with images and stories about horrifying things, generally about ghosts, plus, with, partly because I'm weak at ghosts, I've had the concept of being afraid of ghosts since I was a child. Gradually, when I grow up and go to school, my thinking is not as stupid and easy to fool as before, so I also believe less in the ghost stories that people often bring to scare children. But I don't understand why I'm still afraid of ghosts. Now that I'm a little older, ghosts are 50-50 to me. That is, half believe, half don't believe, half fear, half not fear, go out at night a lot, gradually stop being afraid of ghosts, from fear of ghosts to fear of robbers. At night, if you are unfortunate enough to be on a deserted road, you are only afraid of robbers, not of ghosts. Until one time I had sleep paralysis. Having sleep paralysis was so cruel. That period of time made me believe that there are ghosts in this world. Explaining the phenomenon of sleep paralysis a bit, surely everyone here has experienced sleep paralysis at least once. According to the internet and books and newspapers, science explains that sleep paralysis is a phenomenon when the body is tired and the nerves are stressed, leading to sleep paralysis. But spiritually, sleep paralysis is a phenomenon related to ghosts, which can be roughly understood as ghost teasing. Reading up to this point, I want to say one thing. Maybe sleep paralysis is a normal scientific phenomenon, and there are no ghosts. Maybe I'm dizzy and see miscellaneous illusions. But I would like to tell you what I see and hear when I have sleep paralysis, regardless of whether it is real or fake. That day, I came home from exercising, calling it exercise for the sake of prestige, because it was really just running around Thong Nat's CV so he could call it less like a young man with whooping cough. That day, when I got home, my whole leg was sore from muscle tension. It felt like when I lifted my leg, it would leave my mother's body. In short, it's very tiring. After showering and eating, I crawled out of bed and turned on the TV and logged on to Facebook. I have a habit of always sleeping with the TV on, leaving it there to watch until I fall asleep. While lying on the bed, my mother went from downstairs to upstairs to put dry clothes. Every time my mother goes somewhere, I hear her footsteps coming. Almost every night, it's become a habit. While lying down watching TV, I felt sleepy. Surely everyone knows the feeling of lying down and watching TV while falling asleep. Your eyes keep closing and opening again and again. Partly because I regret watching a good movie so I don't want to sleep yet. Partly because it's too early and don't want to sleep yet. So I kept struggling with trying to eat sticky rice with the sleepiness to watch movies. At first, I lay on my side with my arms propped up to watch TV. Then gradually my arms got so tired that I let them go and lay down completely. And then finally, my eyes became half closed. While dreaming, I heard my mother's footsteps going down the stairs. At the same time, the light plus sound coming from the TV made everything difficult to determine, half awake and half dreaming. I'm still lingering in that state, my eyes still half closed. The murmur of the TV came from a foreign movie channel. As everyone knows, what foreign languages speak is all noise. So hearing the sound of a foreign movie played at a low volume is like a whisper in your ear. That sound keeps echoing in my ears. Then I closed my eyes. Close your eyes but still listen, and your eyes can still feel the light of the TV. It went on like that for a while. Then I heard my mother's footsteps going down the stairs. At that time, his eyes opened slightly, then closed again. The sound of the TV was still going around in my ears, as if there was a tiny person talking in there. Then suddenly I realized something was wrong. My mother's footsteps were still there, but at the same time, she should have gone downstairs a long time ago. The sound of footsteps continued to get closer and closer. At the peak of the sound coming down the stairs, I was startled to wake up. Through the light from the TV and my slightly opened eyes, I reflexively looked outside the door towards the sound of footsteps, and I saw someone standing there. Standing right outside the door of the room, a few steps away from where I lay. At that moment, it felt like my eyes wanted to open wide, but they only opened a little. At that time, my limbs became tight, and it felt like something heavy was pressing on me. I tried to brace myself and struggle, but to no avail. At this point, I started to panic, so I glanced around the room again. The sound of the TV and light were still the same, still whispering like when I fell asleep. The room was still dim. The shadow of a person stood indifferently at the door. I tried to open my eyes wide and open my mouth to scream, but nothing changed. Limbs are still stiff. From the eyes to the fingers, everything was impossible to control. It continued like this for a while, and I had to let it go and stop struggling. At that time, in my mind, I was completely aware of the presence of a person in the room. It was both a clear image and a feeling. Totally true. About 3 minutes later, I suddenly turned around, feeling like someone had just beaten me and broken all my bones, extremely tired and fatigued. When I could move my body, I tried to raise my head and look back at the door. There was nothing but the curtains that occasionally swayed because of the fan wind. At this time, the TV was already dark. Street light from outside the window shone into the room. Until now, I have just realized everything in the most real way and started to feel scared, afraid of sweating. I grabbed the remote and turned on the TV and quickly switched to the TV animation channel. My eyes squinted because of the glare. I calmed down, craned my neck to look at the door again. Still nothing. When I touched my phone, it was past 2 o'clock on the clock. I started cuddling with a pillow and lying with my back out the door. Suddenly, the disgusting image just now appeared in my mind, and scary thoughts began to come. I thought of a shadow with loose hair standing right behind me, staring at me, or maybe lying right next to me. At that moment, I immediately turned around, faced the door, then closed my eyes and went to sleep with some peace of mind. I don't know when I go to sleep. The next morning, when I asked my mother, I found out that the TV was turned off when she realized I was sleeping. When I was having sleep paralysis, probably. From then on, I often suffered from sleep paralysis. One time I fell asleep on a chair downstairs, a chair next to the window. At night, when I had sleep paralysis, the method of being pressed was still the same, and then I saw it clinging to the window bars and staring at me. All the feelings are very real, but my eyes cannot open wide. The next moment I woke up, I fell straight into my room with the image of something crawling down the stairs following me. I'm embarrassed to say it because I'm not really a kid anymore, but I'm still shy. But I have to admit that the feeling at that time was really disgusting and haunting. After going to my room and turning on the TV, I didn't dare close my eyes. Because I'm afraid, what if I fall asleep and it comes again? Maybe when you are awake and alert, the disgusting ghosts are just imaginary and not real. But until you sleep, in your dreams, nothing is impossible. Another time, that day the family had 3 cousins come to stay overnight. They're all children, no need to think about playing with them. That night, when I lay down to sleep, they were still running loudly from bottom to top, top to bottom. Lying with my eyes closed, the sounds of children kept echoing in my ears. Once in a daze, I heard the sound of a child running towards me. I was startled to open my eyes, and oh well, I had sleep paralysis again. This time, it was a child standing outside the door, behind the curtain. The sound of playing still rang out. It's still just standing there, in the same place. I saw his hand lift the curtain and peek out 1/3 of his head, but I don't know the face. Thinking back, I feel so disgusting that I can't stand it. Then there were many more times when I had sleep paralysis. It was still the sound of footsteps walking down the stairs until the footsteps ended at the end of the stairs, that is, right at the door. That's when I suddenly opened my eyes and got hit. Just imagine the feeling of sleeping in the middle of the night and someone standing outside the door staring at you. It's disgusting. There was a time when I felt like I was afraid of peeing my pants. That day, I slept on the ground. My room doesn't have a bed, just a mattress in one corner and a TV shelf in the other corner. That day, I lay in the middle, with my feet facing the door, lying on my stomach. I was about to go to sleep when I felt, this time I didn't hear footsteps anymore, but a feeling. The feeling of something walking over me was so real that I could clearly see the subsidence of the carpet when I stepped on it. In a split second, that feeling appeared on the mattress again. I opened my eyes, and my first reflex was to glance straight up at the mattress. I looked straight up at the mattress, and what caught my eye was a person sitting cross-legged right on there. At that time, my mind was completely blank. I couldn't think of anything. Suddenly, there was a squealing sound. Imagine the sound is a solid object and someone is holding that sound stick straight at your head, right on both temples. The feeling was very sharp. The sound was like tens of thousands of people and thousands of things were screaming at the same time. Very scary, always spinning. It was still sitting on the bed and looking at me. Maybe. Surely everyone knows the feeling of someone staring at you. Very easy to detect. About 2 to 3 minutes after waking up, my body was sweating. I lay still, closed my eyes, and counted in my head 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At 5, I opened my eyes and sat up straight. I reached out and turned on the light. I swung my hand hard above the bed. The dog's blood had reached its peak. I waved my hand like I was punching someone while gritting my teeth and cursing my father and mother, cursing me. He cursed her. He cursed his ancestors' graves. He cursed his whole family, his cave. At that time, I was like a crazy person. After a while, I was tired and sweaty and sat down. It's currently past 3 a.m. on the phone. After sitting for a while, I felt completely comfortable. I'm not as scared as usual anymore. Went on Facebook for a while, then fell asleep until morning. There was a time when I wasn't having sleep paralysis. I was lying on Facebook, looking at the words on the screen and reading them in my head, when suddenly I heard a voice in my ear. I was startled awake. I opened my eyes wide and looked around the room. Feel that voice clearly and truly. At that moment, I was so scared that I reached over and moved the mouse to turn on the music really loud. I don't understand what kind of dog or pig it is. From then on, strange images kept haunting my head, making it difficult for me to sleep well. Feelings appeared that had never happened before. While taking a shower, while standing under the faucet to wash my hair, I felt like someone was standing in front of me. When I quickly opened my eyes, I couldn't see anyone and the spicy foam flowed into my eyes. That's it. Walking inside the house, I feel like someone is about to jump out from behind the door, wall, dark corner. And what's even more disgusting is that I imagined things sitting on top of the closet and crawling on the stairs. At that time, I wondered if I was going crazy. He still comes to visit occasionally. Tone walked down the stairs and stood at the door. The only time I had sleep paralysis. I opened my eyes and looked straight at its face. That was the first time I dared to look straight at his face. His eyelids looked like black lines, completely black. But I can't see the pupils clearly. Like white pupils. I could only see my eyes. I was so scared that I closed my eyes and couldn't see anymore. After 3 uncomfortable seconds, my eyes opened again and I saw the person standing outside the door looming in front of me, just a few centimeters away. One time I knew it was sleep paralysis, but I didn't care, just sleep. Sometimes when I wake up, I keep reassuring myself that this is just an illusion, a scientific phenomenon, not a ghost. I keep lying to myself like that. Then try to shorten the time spent sitting on the computer, TV, phone during the day, and avoid overworking. But things still don't change. For almost a week now, I no longer have sleep paralysis. I told many people about my sleep paralysis, and then someone asked, "Do you still have sleep paralysis these days?" I half jokingly and half seriously replied, "I haven't seen that crazy person coming around lately." Until that evening, the sound of footsteps came down the stairs again. He stood at the door again and stared.